Welcome to the Small Business Sisterhood podcast. I'm your host, Pepper Makepeace, an online business strategist for female solopreneurs and side hustlers, and founder of the Small Business Sisterhood, an online membership community serving small business owners in the first stages of business. Join me as I go behind the scenes with female entrepreneurs, revealing the struggles, strategies, and inspiring stories of these amazing women. If you're interested in connecting with like-minded women, learning effective business strategies from the experts, and being a part of a mastermind group that helps you grow your business, check us out at smallbusinesssisterhood.com. Today we're talking to Maura Chamness, a product stylist and brand photographer. She also recently launched the Stock Studio for those businesses that aren't quite ready to hire a pro for custom brand photos. You can find bold and modern styled stock photos to boost your brand and website presence. Maura currently lives in Houston, Texas with her sassy schnauzer Gracie. Thanks for being here, Maura.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you do.
I'm a product stylist and brand photographer for online entrepreneurs. I help entrepreneurs who are ready to upgrade their photos to match the brand they've worked hard to build. I help hone their style and create custom stock or product photography that really brings their work to life online.
That sounds like so much fun.
It is fun. I love talking with businesses about discovering their style and like what they're going to be using their photos for.
That's great. How long have you been in business? Have you always done stock photography?
Well, I come from the corporate world. I was a construction project manager for commercial interiors, which was fun when I got to play with tile samples and paint swatches. But I was really looking more for something that would fulfill me personally and that I would have more of a direct impact on the end client.
Yeah.
And I got a DSLR and was playing around with it, and people started asking me to take pictures of their families and their babies, and I was like, this sounds like so much fun. And I discovered that people were making a job out of it, and I found Marie Forleo, and
awesome.
One thing led to another, and so I eventually started my own photography business. So in 2012, I started with the family and newborn portraits, and about a year ago, I transitioned over into brand photography and working with small businesses.
So what prompted that switch? How did you decide to switch over to brand photography?
Well, while I was working on my portrait photography, I had a couple of small businesses contact me for headshots, and they were like, "Can you take better headshots of us?" And one of them was a gym, and they were redoing their branding and transitioning or they weren't really transitioning. They had always been doing corporate workout classes on lunch breaks and after work, but in addition to the classes they taught at the gym, and they were rebranding, and they wanted their website presence to match look more professional and match this brand they were putting out there when they were going to land these gigs with corporations to teach workout classes at lunch and stuff.
Uh-huh.
And talking with them about their brand and their business and their new website and how we could tie their photos in to represent what they wanted to put out there for their business, got me so fired up. I was just oh my gosh, this is so much fun. And I loved my family and newborn clients, but I never connected with them the way I connected with working with small businesses. And so through a mastermind, I was talking with some of the girls there, and they were like, when you talk about your business clients, you light up in a way that you don't when you talk about your other portrait clients.
Oh, yeah.
You should look into that. And I was like, oh my gosh, it helps so much to have someone hold a mirror up to you, because sometimes you don't realize what you like right away.
Right.
And so I looked into it and how I could work with more businesses, and I tried a couple of different kinds of photography, and just the product and brand photography, the styled stock, that really is what I have the most fun doing. And so that's why I changed my niche, really.
That's awesome. What a beautiful process of you figuring out what you really love to do. That's awesome. It does. I really think that it takes us time when we first start a business to really hone in on what it is that we like to do the most and therefore can provide the most value in. I started somewhere completely different myself, so I get that process, and that's awesome. So good job.
Yeah, it was kind of frustrating that first year watching like workshops and everyone being like, find your niche. And I'm like, I don't know, families? And they were like, no, you need to be more specific. And I was like, families with young children, And so I think it does. You just have to try a couple of different things and test and change and tweak it as you go. And then you'll end up somewhere you love.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Yeah, right? Well, and being open to that process, like, I think that's so beautiful because, I think a lot of people or a lot of businesses out there tell you, like, you have to find your niche and you have to find it right away and you have to, like, stick with it. And I don't think that works because I think once you start doing it, you really learn more about yourself and your business. And so it's a process.
Yeah. It's definitely a trial and error process.
Absolutely. Hi ladies, I wanted to tell you about ConvertKit. ConvertKit is a powerful email service provider and I'm so in love with it. It's tailored toward content-driven businesses like bloggers, service providers, and podcasters. They make it so easy to create automated content and provide a lot of useful tools to help you have amazing results with your email marketing. One of my favorite features is their robust tagging feature. For example, if someone buys your course, you won't keep sending them the promo emails telling them to buy it. I hate it when I get sales emails for products I've already purchased, don't you? It really adds a personal touch to be able to send targeted emails to subscribers. And just for being a Small Business Sisterhood podcast listener, you can get a free 30-day trial. Just go to smallbusinesssisterhood.com/ConvertKit for more information. So tell me more about your ideal client and like what the process is how you work with your clients.
Well, for my custom photography clients, they are usually small businesses who take their online brand seriously, like they're ready to look amazing and unique and polished online, and that's a priority for them. So they're usually heading into maybe stage 2 of their business, or they might be starting their second business where they're ready to outsource and grow their team or outsource some of the tasks that they're not the best at. They just don't have the time to do it all anymore. That's where I come in. I just come in and help them elevate their online presence with photos that match their brand.
So how do you help them understand what photos that match their brand looks like? Like how do you work with them on that part?
Well, I go through with each of my clients the style discovery process, is what I call it, and it starts with a questionnaire that just goes over their business goals and who their ideal clients are and what their ideal clients are doing when they work with them, or if they sell a product, what they're doing with that product, just to kind of get a sense of the life that ideal client leads and what kinds of images would attract them. And so we do the style survey, and then we put together a Pinterest board, and they don't have to be other brand photos or anything, just a collection of images that they're drawn to. So I can get a sense of their style, if they like minimalist or if they like things really busy and with a lot of movement. And sometimes there will be a correlation between the images that they don't even realize, they really like flat lay, or they really like it when things are at this particular angle, or they have a lot of white space on one side. And sometimes you don't even realize that you're drawn to those things until you get them all together on a board, and you can kind of figure out what the common elements are. And then after they put together their Pinterest board, we hop on a style consultation call, and we just go over what I see, the way they describe their brand, make sure it's all in line and jiving, and then we talk about what kind of props they might need. They're a service-based business. I usually get all the props unless they have personal props or something unique that they use already in their branding. Then they can mail it to me, and I'll mail it back after the photo shoot. And then product-based businesses, they usually mail me their products, and if we need any supplemental props to style the photo, I'll get those for them based on their budget. That's just how I make sure that the images that they're getting are most in line with their brand and unique to them.
That's awesome. That sounds like fun too.
Yeah, the style discovery process is my favorite part. I mean, the photos, they just happen, but getting ready and picking out the props and making the mood boards and stuff like that is the fun part for me.
Do you ever find that your clients are surprised at what they end up on as their style, or do they?
I wouldn't say that they're unexpectedly surprised, but I have heard them be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that I don't have to explain this to you. Like, so deep, like I think they thought it would be a lot harder to communicate their style because they already don't naturally know how to verbalize it. And so I think really like doing the survey and then the visual part of it, like really ties those two things together, because there is a big difference between, like, if you were to say, hey, my brand is fun and vibrant, well, there's a big difference between, like, Anthropologie, who is fun and vibrant, and Kate Spade, who is fun and vibrant. And so, like, that's why I have, like, a multi-part process with different elements, like one's visual, written, and spoken, like, so we can figure out that we're on the same page for, like, what your brand looks like.
I've heard that you have another project going on, so you want to tell us about that?
Yes. So I'm in the middle of launching the Stock Studio, which is an online stock shop for styled stock photos. Could I say stock any more times in one sentence? But these are for those business owners that are just starting out, or they're on a budget and they're not really ready for custom photography yet, but they know what they're looking for. So the Stock Studio launches on December 6th, so I guess it depends on when this comes out, but you can definitely find it on my website, and we'll put a link to it later. Yeah, the Stock Studio will have style stock photos that you can use on your website or social media packages or anywhere like that where you want to elevate your brand photography.
Awesome. So what made you decide to do the Stock Studio?
So the Stock Studio came about because I wanted to offer an alternative to people who weren't quite ready to hire out for custom stock photos. But I didn't want to just open another styled stock shop because there are already some really great ones out there that take really, really beautiful photos. So I've kind of put it on the back burner because I didn't know how to launch the Stock Studio without being just like everyone else. And so it took some time, like most things in business, to think about it. And I noticed when I was on coffee chats or talking in Facebook groups, or even when my clients come to me with their first inquiry and they're asking, yeah, I'm looking for custom photography because I have all these beautiful stock images, but none of them are really my brand, and what my brand looks like isn't really out there yet. And so I just kind of took notes of like what people were missing in the industry, and noticed a theme that like they were looking for bold colors or more colorful style desktops or something that was a little bit less feminine and a little bit less glam. And so that's what I'm putting out in the Stock Studio now, is just like some colors and styles and themes, like for bookkeepers or accountants that aren't currently being sold in the styled stock industry right now. And so I'm just trying to bring a little more variety to our scene through the Stock Studio.
Fantastic. I can't wait to see it. I want to hear more about your first year and anything that you felt was difficult or surprising. A lot of our listeners are in that first year, and so any advice or observations that you might have for them? What do you think?
Okay. I'm like going back to my first year into portrait business, and I remember thinking, this is weird. Like, there are things you have to do legally, like register as doing business as and things like that, like get a business bank account. But like, other than my small business bureau locally, like there was not a lot of information out there, and it was just like, oh, you want to start a business? Here it is. And at first it kind of just like felt like playing Let's Pretend or something. I was like, I guess I'm starting a business. I don't know what's going on. And so I definitely remember that feeling. So if you're feeling that, like, you're not alone, but with like some time, you'll start to realize that like this is a real business and that you're getting things set up legally and officially. But I do remember feeling like a little bit naive that I could just like put up a website and be like, hey guys, I take photos now. And then that like people would book me. So definitely like, as soon as you can, start thinking about like your marketing plan and your approach of like how you're going to get businesses. If you're going to be, like for me, like meeting with local mom groups or doing Facebook ads or whatever it is that you're going to do, like you need to decide on your marketing method. So maybe other people don't have that problem, but I was definitely naive in the marketing aspect of starting my business. And then I guess also like be patient. Like everyone's going to be telling you to like find your niche and like do something unique and stand out and stuff like that. But it might take that you try a couple of different things like I did to find that. So be patient with yourself on that aspect.
Well, and I can totally identify with everything you just said. So you are not alone in any of this. And I remember like what you said, like, I don't know if you had this experience as a kid, but when I was in, I think it was first grade, they had like this fake store of like empty like cereal boxes and empty cans and stuff that we could play store. And when I first opened my business, like, I kind of felt like I was doing that.
Yes.
So in the beginning, it was like, because you're so excited, you know, and you have this great idea for a business and it's exciting, but it doesn't feel real yet, I don't think, in the beginning. So I identify with that. Yeah, that's really good advice. So thank you. So what's the best way that people can find you on the internet?
Well, you can find me at maurachamness.com, and from there you can also find me. I'm most active on Instagram, so you can find me on Instagram or follow my Facebook page, all from that website. So if you just go to maurachamness.com, you should be able to find me in all the places. And if you're just searching, I have a unique enough name that I am at Maura Chamness on basically every platform.
That's awesome. That's handy, right?
That you need. Yeah.
That's great. Well, and I'll be sure to include all the links in the show notes. But thank you so much for talking to me today and sharing all your wisdom and your experience. It sounds like so much fun, and I can't wait to see the new stock studio and see what comes next.
Yes. Come on over to the stock studio, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Maura, for talking with us today. You can find out more information about Maura and the link to her website in the show notes for this episode at smallbusinesssisterhood.com/5. I hope you found this episode useful and inspiring. If you did, please hop over to iTunes and leave a review. Thanks for listening. Catch you next time.